TDA organized party in Colorado is raided by DEA and ICE. Let's check it out.
We are learning more about a drug enforcement raid where 49 people were taken into custody over the weekend.
Federal agents interrupted a party in Adams County early Sunday morning. They say 40 people who were arrested were undocumented, and some are connected with a violent criminal gang from Venezuela known as Tren de Aragua.
Your CBS Colorado investigator Brian Moss joins us right now in studio. And Brian, you spoke to the DEA today.
And what they did is they offered a lot more information to us today about what happened Sunday morning there in Adams County. They said most of the undocumented people arrested Sunday were from Venezuela, but there were also people from Mexico, El Salvador, Honduras, Cuba, Romania, and Italy who were rounded up. Rounded up after federal agents surprised nearly 50 people gathered at a pop-up nightclub on North Federal Boulevard. The feds say the party was organized by the violent Venezuelan TDA gang.
Well, listen, a lot of those people had criminal records in the U.S., and I'm certain that some of those folks probably had criminal records in their home countries as well.
The DEA's special agent in charge in Colorado says his agency had been tracking the Tren de Aragua gang since last summer.
If you're asking me if I think we got them all, no. I think there's still more folks associated with TDA here. But I think that they know we're coming.
Man,
the TDA gang issue emerged.
If you were at that party, I'm sorry, you are no good. But the kind of activity that was going on there with drugs and guns and likely some prostitution, yeah, no.
Last year, after this video went viral of 6 armed men at an Aurora apartment building, some politicians and media reports claimed these were TDA gang members. But Aurora police later said they could not link the men to the gang.
It's not always easy to identify, and guess what? These guys don't admit that they're TDA. So we're still working through the intelligence on that. Interviews are still being done today.
Pullen said he's sure some of the men detained in this nightclub bust are TDA, judging from tattoos and clothing. He said 4 pistols, along with drugs, were also confiscated here on Sunday.
And I think by taking 40 people off the street who were associated with a violent gang like TDA, makes people in Denver wake up to a safer city.
Pullen did not release the names of those picked up, but said they were now in federal custody. Additionally, he said the DEA arrested 2 more undocumented people this morning in Denver in an unrelated case. He said those 2 were in possession of 130,000 fentanyl pills, along with heroin, cocaine, and methamphetamine, and he said they are affiliated with Mexican drug cartels.
Wow.
This is probably just a start. Brian, thank you. Today, Governor Polis asked about the raids that have happened in our state, and he said Colorado.
Governor there is a clown, but anyway, they also arrested 2 more people on top of that, not affiliated with those people. I mean, this is madness. This is what happens when you have an open border. But luckily, we have help. We all know what I mean by that. But you take 41 people off the streets who were associated with this kinds of activity, your city just got safer like that. 40 people can do a lot of damage. And 49, I mean, look, all 49 that were there, I mean, okay, 41 are illegal aliens, and the other 8 were not. But you're still associated with this gang. This is dangerous activity going on. I can only imagine what it would be like being at one of those parties. I have no desire to be in any place like that, but just imagine the types of things that you will see. You live this normal life, and then you see these things going on. It's pretty scary. But members of TDA are starting to create 2 factions of the gang. Let's check this out.
I do want to bring in News Nation's Jorge Ventura at the border in San Diego tonight. And Jorge, you have a major update on the Tren de Aragua gang, this particularly vicious and brutal gang. It is operating in all 50 states. Jorge, you're monitoring this gang is splintering into 2 factions now. There is warring going on inside of the gang. What can you tell us?
Yeah, that's right, Natasha. This Venezuelan gang is one of the most notorious from Latin America. It's a gang that the majority of Americans a couple years ago probably never heard of. Now they've expanded here into the United States and established those criminal networks. We are now learning from officials in New York, according to the U.S. Attorney's Office of the Southern District, that now, according to them, an investigation of suspected Trinidad gang members actually did reveal that there is now interfighting between the gang. In some cases, some of the gang members are disavowing Trinidad and calling themselves anti-Tren. Officials say that Trinidad gang members have been involved in numerous shootings stemming from hostilities between Trinidad gang members and now anti-Tren. And this is all coming as during the 2024 presidential campaign, President Trump did promise his voters that his administration will go to great lengths to deport Trinidad gang members in the country illegally. Authorities in New York this week arrested 10 individuals alleged to be members or associates of Trinidad that were trafficking firearms into New York City. In Colorado, federal authorities carried out an operation in Adams County at a makeshift nightclub targeting drug trafficking and members of that TDA gang. Nearly 50 individuals in the country illegally were arrested that night. Meanwhile, in North Dakota, authorities found a TDA gang member during a traffic stop. He was taken into custody and is now awaiting removal proceedings. And in
North Dakota, you have these thugs in North Dakota. I mean, that's unheard of. I'm sure there are things that happen in North Dakota. I've never been there before. It's a small population, oil state, but it's not really known for its gang activity. But the fact that they're making their way up there is terrifying.
Carolina, federal agents arrested another TDA gang member that was reportedly dealing fentanyl. This is a gang that blends into the millions of Venezuelan nationals that have come into the country illegally. It's a gang that often exploits their own countrymen. And Natasha, there are now reports that the Trump administration is also in talks with the country of El Salvador to see if El Salvador will accept Trinidad gang members in their prisons. It's still a developing situation, but it's clear that the Trump administration has now targeted this gang and is moving as quickly as they can to remove these individuals. Natasha.
Jorge, thanks for watching. Go to join and
Yeah, that's scary stuff. And this right here, this situation that happened at this apartment complex in Aurora, one of the leaders got arrested in New York City. So they've been going after these people. I know Texas has. We've designated them as a terrorist organization. Trump has. So this has to be stopped. They are starting to break off into pieces because they know what's coming. They know who's coming after them. And when you harbor illegal aliens, when you have these sanctuary cities, you create more problems. You're only hurting the people you're trying to protect. So I'm glad that this raid would have happened regardless. This raid that the DEA did with ICE, this was months long in the making. So regardless of who's president, it would have happened, but it happened to happen right now. And I'm glad they did this. That's a lot of people. Look at 50 people that could do a lot. They can do a lot of damage. Like we said, 41 illegals, 8 of them not. But you have ties to these people, and you could be distributing drugs. You could be smuggling people. You could be a part of prostitution rings. You could be a part of all kinds of weapons, all kinds of things, theft. So 49 people, that's a good deal. You're bringing down, now the numbers are starting to get smaller. You're seeing these people arrested across the country more and more. And each one that's taken into custody is one less problem off the streets. And watch, we'll see the crime rates drop. Not this, sugar-coated crime rate or whatever it is, or these unreported crimes that are happening. You have these cities, these jurisdictions not reporting to the FBI. Yes, to make the crime rate it makes it look lower than what it actually is, but you're going to start seeing less reports of very heinous crimes happening across the country. These smash and grabs, people trying to cut off people's fingers and things like that, carjackings, that'll start to go down. And I hope El Salvador can take these people, because they have this I don't know if you heard about the big facility that they have, that the president of El Salvador, he's brought crime down dramatically in El Salvador. So if they can take these people for us, that'll be great. So yeah, I heard Venezuela did start to take some of their people back. So yeah, that's good news. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Like and subscribe. See you next time. Thank you. Take care.